Good morning, everyone. My brother and I used to play video games, and we were competitive. Well, not really competitive, but we'd compete against each other, and we were bad winners. We would gloat for hours if we won. And like Street Fighter 2 or hockey games or basketball, NBA Jam, whatever, right? But I was young, and I didn't know very much, or I didn't know better anyway. But this is bad winning on a grand scale. Here is Jackie Delaney tweeting, quote, "When We the North became We the Jerks, doesn't represent all of the amazing fans who managed to celebrate without acting a fool, but not a good look. What possesses someone to do this as a form of celebration?" Yeah, I saw this and I thought, ooh, bad winners. Here, we're gonna watch it. And the tweet says, "Video shot by my mother on Yonge Street, just north of Dundas at 2:43 a.m. TTC special event bus with every window broken out and covered in graffiti. Corrects earlier deleted tweet indicating it was a regular TTC bus." Right? Is that how you celebrate winning a championship? Let's destroy this bus. What's happening to people? This is something of note. Mr. Black Pigeon speaks at Navy Hato, or Navy Hatto, I'm not sure. He says, quote, "I would like to say thank you to everyone that helped support me over the last 12 hours. My channel is back up. Much thanks to everyone. The channel continues, but please still subscribe to me at BitChute." Now, if you don't know what's been happening, YouTube has been systemically closing down anybody who is putting out independent creators, or not putting out independent creators, putting out independent videos, or people like me, I suppose. And a lot of people have been asking me to move over to BitChute, etc. But the news isn't about me. I wanted to say that Mr. Black Pigeon Speaks is not much more controversial than me at all. And he follows the rules meticulously, says he, and even he was banned from YouTube's Great Purge. So this is an interesting thing to note. Where do people who want to talk about the things that don't get mainstream airplay go? Where are we supposed to go? I don't understand. Now, YouTube has reinstated Black Pigeon Speaks, and that's notable as well. I guess there was a backlash and people saying, "Oh, that's pretty crazy." I think that this is how platforms die. When they get so big, they start saying to their users, "No, we don't want you here. You're not worth our eyeballs. It's fine. We've got so many people that it doesn't matter. The memes make themselves. The budget balance itself," right? So I don't go on Facebook anymore. I refuse to go on Facebook anymore. And the reason for that is I don't trust Facebook. Your friends are not your friends on Facebook. You see a version of your friends on Facebook that is designed by Facebook and their algorithms to keep you on that platform as long as possible. And I find that interesting. Why do I want to waste my time looking at a facsimile of my friend? Let's go have a conversation. Let's go have lunch. Let's go have a coffee. I don't drink coffee, but that kind of stuff. And it's replaced it, and it's sad. So that's my little diatribe, starting with free speech and it being pushed out everywhere, right? Like the Discord on Facebook. You can't have this kind of conversation on Facebook. You can't even really mention free speech on Facebook. That's wrongthink, right? And even on Reddit these days, you can't even like a politician without being bombarded by how incorrect you are, regardless of the evidence to the contrary. And by evidence, I mean being on the ground and talking to actual people. I've been door knocking for weeks now. And yeah, people are listening. People are paying attention. It's interesting. But what happens when it's silenced? It's already hard enough to find, right? It's incredible. I'm going to be moving to Thinkspot. This is Jordan Peterson's thing. I'm going to be on Minds as well, but just in case YouTube goes down, I'll be on this as soon as it's live. I'm signed up to be a beta user, but I'm not approved yet. So interesting. I'm interested in this, and that's where I'm likely going to hang my hat once YouTube decides that free speech isn't for them anymore. I'm going to keep posting to YouTube until then. So, And back to the Canadian politics of it all. National Post is reporting. This I thought was hilarious, and we're going to kind of look through the claims that our climate minister makes in this interesting diatribe. National Post is reporting, quote, "Federal carbon tax coming to Alberta in January." Environment Minister says. Hold on. Let me prime that with the election is in October. So that would be like Stephen Harper saying, you know what? Like in 2015, Stephen Harper in September 2015 saying, you know what? Come December of this year, we're going to legalize marijuana. And everybody going like, you're not going to be in power. And Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So this is just garbage. This is just trash. But if the Liberals win in January, Alberta will have a carbon tax. National Post says, quote, Ottawa plans to impose a federal carbon tax on Alberta starting January 1st, and Federal Environment Minister Catherine Mckenna says she has written the province about the decision. Quote, we need to move forward to tackle climate change, Mckenna said in Ottawa before question period on Thursday. Quote, we see the impacts of climate change and through extreme weather, including in Alberta, where there are forest fires that are burning earlier than ever before, that are burning stronger, and that are having a serious impact on the lives of Albertans, as well as their economy. Well, hold on a second. Here's rainy spring gets 2019 off to the second wettest start in 4 decades. That's Buffalo, so maybe not Alberta, but there is... hold on. There it is. Sometimes I leave tabs on the wrong screen and I just didn't move it over. I apologize. Here it is. June 7th, evacuation warning lifted for Slave Lake as cooler weather aids wildfire fights. I'm not going to get into this. And here's another one. This is from Tony Heller. He's got coolest, wettest, fewest fires on record. And this was posted June 11th, 2019. So all of these things are interesting. I'm not saying I know better than the climate minister, certainly not. But there are other people out there who are talking about it being cool and wet and not a fire season for the record books. And I've also done a video looking at our fire efforts and what we do to prevent forest fires. And it's not much in Canada. I've done a whole video on it, so you can have a look at it. It's linked in the description. But I find all that interesting. Back to the main point here. Alberta passed legislation to repeal its provincial carbon tax last week to fulfill a promise United Conservative Premier Jason Kenney made during the campaign for the April election. It's unfortunate because Alberta had a Made in Alberta plan to put a price on pollution, and we clearly need Alberta to be part of our national climate plans, as Alberta has the highest emissions in the country, Mckenna said. She said 90% of the money collected is to go back to Alberta taxpayers in rebates. An average family of 4 can expect to get $888 returned next year. $800. Ooh, the remaining 10% is to go towards making buildings more energy efficient. Huh? So you're going to tax people 100% and give people 90% back and take 10% to retrofit buildings? That's what you're going to do? Except that the carbon tax isn't as much as they were expecting. So they promised a certain amount and then they delivered less than that amount. Here, we're going to look at that right now. June 7th, Global News is reporting. This is 2019, and I'm just going to scroll down to the important part here. This is the important part. When announcing the carbon tax rebate program, the federal government estimated the average payment would be $248 in New Brunswick, $300 in Ontario, $336 in Manitoba, and $598 in Saskatchewan. As of June 3rd, the CRA says the average payment was less than those amounts. $174 in New Brunswick, $203 in Ontario, $231 in Manitoba, and $422 in Saskatchewan. So don't let the federal climate minister bribe you with this money, because probably what you'll get is half, or less than that anyway. It's totally going to be $1,000. You know what? We'll give you $1 million if you just vote for us. We will give you $1 million. Sorry, we couldn't give you $1 million. Here's what we could give you, which is $20, because socialism sucks. Unbelievable. It's just unfortunate how it's so easy for politicians say, oh, we estimate this. And when they get it wrong, it's not lying. They just didn't have an estimate or the correct estimate, or they didn't have factors, et cetera, et cetera. It's frustrating. And this is not how you win votes. This is not how you curb emissions. Provably, this is not how you do any of those things. And yet here we are looking at a government that's going to impose its will onto a province for standing up and saying, we don't want to make everything more expensive in the province. It's just very sad. So I don't think these liberals deserve another term at all. And that's understating it. So that's the end of the show for today. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and check out thepeoplespartyofcanada.ca.